This is a press briefing by myself, the Governor of Machakos County, on reshuffle held on the 20th of September 2023. I have taken the decision to rearrange the leadership of my government in order to achieve great efficiency and effectiveness in delivering services to the people of Machakos County. Without further ado, let us begin by the briefing on the changes that I have made in the top leadership of my government. Office of the Governor, the Chief Officer is Charles Chalo Mutinda. Finance, Economic Planning and Revenue Management. The CEC, Finance, Economic Planning and ICT and Revenue Management is Onesmus Muya Kuyu. Kasanga Julius Muindi, Chief Officer, Finance. Mutua Tobias Mutuku, Chief Officer, Economic Planning. Machogu Ian Obare, Chief Officer, Information Communication and Technology Infrastructure. Mike J. Senga, Chief Officer, Revenue Management. Roads, Transport and Public Works. The CCM, Roads, Transport and Public Works, Consolata Mutisia. Chief Officer, Roads and Transport, Justus Musau Kasivo. Chief Officer, Public Works, Papa Koin Lompo. Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development. The CECM, Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development, Joel Nzomo Kiilu, Bishop. Chief Officer, Agriculture and Food Security, Vincent Muendo Musili. Mutua Tobias Mutuku, Chief Officer, Economic Planning. Machogu Ian Obare, Chief Officer, Information Communication and Technology Infrastructure. Mike J. Senga, Chief Officer, Revenue Management. Roads, Transport and Public Works. The CCM, Roads, Transport and Public Works, Consolata Mutisia. Chief Officer, Roads and Transport, Justus Musau Kasivo. Chief Officer, Public Works, Papa Koin Lompo. Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development. The CECM, Agriculture, Food Security and Cooperative Development, Joel Nzomo Kiilu, Bishop. Chief Officer, Agriculture and Food Security, Vincent Muendo Musili. Chief Officer, Livestock and Fisheries Development, Mulwa Albert Katumo. Chief Officer, Cooperative Development, Mutunga Anthony Mutuku. Water, Irrigation, Environment and Climate Change. The CECM, Sanitation, Irrigation, Environment and Climate Change, Catherine Mutanu Raphael. Chief Officer, Water Irrigation, Gulie Abdullahi Yunis. Chief Officer, Sewer Sanitation and Waste Management, Paul Mawili Wambua. Chief Officer, Climate Change, Mutunga Zipora Kavata. Chief Officer, Environment, Muia Andrew Mwema. Health, the CECM, Health, Daniel Munyao Yumbia. Chief Officer, Medical Services, Dr. Mienda Wycliffe. Chief Officer, Health Facilities, Infrastructure Development, Kala Mohammed Rashid. Chief Officer, Public Health, Simba Simon Mwako. Education, The CECM Education is Philip Mutua Kilonzo. Chief Officer, ECED, Maureen Mwende Mainge. Chief Officer, Vocational Training, Mulei Stephen Chalo. Devolution. The CECM Devolution, Joyce Mwikali Muindi. Chief Officer, Public Service Performance Management, Mwanza Lawrence Mainge. Chief Officer, Inspectorate Firefighting and Emergency Services, Kano Retired Gideon Bithi Wadhi. Chief Officer, County Administration and Decentralized Unit, Masindululu Mutua. Chief Officer, Public Communication and E-Government, Mule Daniel Lemba. Chief Officer, Public Participation, Citizen Engagement and Customer Service, Kinyai Bruce Isika. Trade, Industry, Tourism and Innovation, the CECM, Trade, Industry and Tourism Innovation, Sharon Dhoki Mutua. Chief Officer, Trade and External Relations, Kidheka Simon Kioko. Chief Officer, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Winnie Ndunge Musyoki. Chief Officer, Digital Economy, Ifra Sheikh. Chief Officer, Tourism and Culture, Kioko Banis Mweni. Chief Officer, Industry and Innovation, Munyao Joseph Mutwiwa. Lands, Urban Development, Housing and Energy. The CECM is Nathaniel Nganga Ruben. Chief Officer, Urban Development Housing, Adipo Collins Otieno. Chief Officer, Lands, Medho Benson Kituku. Chief Officer, Energy, Simon Kirima Muraguri. Gender, Youth, Sports and Social Welfare. The CECM is John Mwangangi Kilonzo. Chief Officer, Gender and Social Welfare, Dr. Benedict Wavinya Mutiso. Chief Officer, Sports, Ngumbao Mutiso Benedict. Throughout history, government reshuffles have also allowed government to adapt to evolving priorities, respond to public demands, and harness fresh talent and expertise, and to shape the overall direction of the administration. I appreciate your cooperation in disseminating accurate and reliable information to the public, as it is critical for citizens to be well informed and engaged in matters concerning their leadership and governance of the county. We understand this transition may raise questions and concern among public, but rest assured that I have carefully considered all aspects to ensure smooth transition and remain committed to serving you with utmost dedication and transparency. In conclusion, I urge all residents and staff of the county government of Machakos to embrace these changes as an opportunity for positive change, and let us work together in spirit of unity and collaboration to build a better future for our county. Asanteni sana, Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki.